next thing we're going to look at is within our courses. We just talked about kind of all the global features, right? So for all of your courses, what can we do, and what are those things? Now we're going to talk about some of the things you can do in your courses. And the first one we're going to talk about is announcements and the syllabus. So make sure that you're working in your sandbox course, in your Rutgers environment. You can tell that you're in the right place because yours is red, right? Mine is gray, yours is red. And go into your sandbox environment. And once you click on it, there's nothing there yet, right? It looks like this. Unless you've been playing around. Has anyone been playing around already? You can click, you'd either have to click on the dashboard, or if there was something due for one of your, then you can click on it. It's going to take you into there. Yeah. Usually the workflow is just working off the dash, like go on dashboard and go on yours. All right. So here's my sandbox. I didn't do anything to mine, so it looks like yours. We're going to talk a little bit about announcements and how you can use those. So announcements is your second button down, and it's gray. You can still click on it. That's an important lesson, okay? So you can click on it. It's gray right now because you don't have anything in there. So until you put something in there, it's going to stay gray. If you click on it, Canvas lets you know there are no announcements to show. I know. So if you want to add one, we're just going to click on the plus announcement button. So remember I told you this morning that once we understand everything we can do in the rich content editor, we really have learned like 60 to 70% of Canvas. You're going to see this box everywhere we're allowed to create. So when we go in and create an assignment, we're going to get this box. When we go to make a discussion, we get this box. Announcements in your course can be anything you want to use them for, right? So if you want to use them as just a one-way communication tool with your students, you certainly can. So maybe you're using it to alert them of a change in your course or a reminder. If they have their notifications set that they're going to get a notification when you post a new announcement, they will get that notification and be able to read your announcement wherever they have that set to. So if that's their email or a text, they're going to be able to see that right away. If you are going to be using announcements that are important for your students and you want to make sure they see them right away, like, hey, class is canceled, right? You could use announcements as one way to communicate with your students. You see that once I'm in here for my announcements, I am able to add attachments to them, okay? I can set them up to delay posting. So maybe I know already that when all my big announcements are going to be, I can get them all set, tell Canvas, don't post until this day, and that'll go out then. You're able to have a setting in your course where you allow students to reply to announcements. So it's kind of like a discussion board without having anything attached to it. So any grade attached to it. So you could allow them to reply to announcements. So maybe it's a place where they can ask questions. You know, like, you have some questions about what happened in our virtual class today, and then you can allow them to reply to it. It does have the feature, like discussion boards do, that users must post before they see replies. So maybe you don't want it available unless other students, unless they already participated in the conversation. There is an ability to enable a podcast feed from your discussions, and then you can allow that liking feature like we had this morning on our discussions. It gives it kind of that social media feel. Question?
Two quick questions.
Yep.
Can I see who's liked? I think so. If I make an announcement, I just want to say, like it so I know you saw it.
Yes, you'll be able to see. Okay. Yes.
Second, you have different choices in your editor than I do. Is that
I do.
decision? Or is that it?
You have control over it too. So that's something I'm going to show you. All right. Do you see something here that you wish you had?
You too.
Okay. Do you have a blue arrow like that? So, all right. We'll do a little tutorial on the rich content editor box. So I can do, typing, things like that in my box. There. And then I can change the font and let students know that class is canceled. I'm not probably going to spell it wrong. Okay, so I can make it bold, I can change the color, I can do all of those things. I can change the size in my text editor. I have some other tools down here though too, and now's a good time to point out. Thanks for asking that question, Steve. I can add a table in here if I want to. I can link to things, so here's the link to a URL key. I can embed images, so this is the embed image button. I get 3 options. I can embed it by the URL, only do that if you own it, right? Because you don't want to steal someone else's image. You can upload it into your file space in Canvas, which when we talk about files, I'll show you that. Or you can search Creative Commons through Flickr and be sure that you're not going to go to jail. If you find an image that you like, you can just say, all right, I want this one, click update, and it's going to just put it into your assignment, which is, go ahead, Denise.
What if you want to upload actual?
You can.
You don't want to
Yep, you can do it. So see over here on the insert content into page button, and you under here images, you would upload it right there. You would click on that upload a new image. So if we have this in here, all right, what are some other features I have? Well, pardon? Steve, oh, did you add it? Oh, Steve's going to be happy. All right. Okay. These are called LTIs, Learning Tool Integrations. So Canvas has a learning tool integration. I think it's, last time I checked, 228 different LTIs that we can integrate. One of them I saw Chris had on your page that was Turn It In. All right, Turn It In is one of the LTIs. What they enable you to do is embed those things right from where you're building your lesson. So now that you have YouTube enabled, you can search for anything you want. I usually search for squirrel because I think this is a funny video. And so I just click embed, and that's going to put that right into my rich content editor. Now, don't be worried it looks like this before you click save, right? So it looks like gray box, it looks like you didn't do it right, but you did. And then you're able to move it around on your page. You could resize it if you wanted to. All right, so that's one of the LTIs, and Chris just added that for you. We're going to talk this afternoon about how you add more of them and where they all are. Rutgers can either add them for you at the account level, so then they're available to everybody, or you also have the ability to add them into your course environment. So you have 2 options. You can also record or upload your own media. So someone was asking me that earlier, I think. They said they couldn't find the video button. It's the one that looks like the film strip. So if you have your own media already that you've created and you want to upload, or you want to record some, you just click that little film strip, and it's going to let you either record video or audio, either one, and then it'll embed it right in your lesson, or you can upload audio media files. So anywhere you see this rich content editor, we happen to just be looking at it through announcements. Those are all some of the things that you can do. Now, class is canceled. I'm going to make this announcement for my students. And I'm going to click save. That will post for my students, all right? And they can celebrate that class is canceled by watching the squirrel video that I added. This is going to show for students, they will know if they don't have their notifications on per se, they will know that your course has an announcement because on their dashboard, this megaphone area right here, this megaphone there'll be a number 1 and a blue notification to let them know that there's a new announcement that they haven't read in that course. So all your announcements for your whole course will show in any recent activity, and then anytime it's going to start building out this announcement area for you. So every time I add a new announcement, the newest one will be on top. So it'll also be a nice way for me to come back in and see what all the announcements were that I posted in my course. It's going to archive them all for me right there. You can use them for all different kinds of things. I know in online, we're always looking for ways that we can find getting our students engaged and different entry points to get them engaged in what we're doing. I always felt a lot of times like I was screaming into an empty canyon and I wasn't hearing anything back, right? That my students weren't always like doing, I didn't know that they were there. So one of the ways that I used announcements was I had it set up so that each day of the week was a different something I posted in my announcements. I believe it's in this course. Okay, so I had something, and it didn't even have to do with exactly the course, but each day had a theme. And I told them, you know, on Mondays they were going to be doing Mad Libs, and then I turned it into kind of like a contest for those students who were engaging with me. It's also a way that you could call out particular students, like if you wanted to show off work that they've done, or if you want to recognize them for doing something great. You could recognize birthdays through announcements. You know, anything you can do to create community online. Announcements are a way that you can do that. Questions about announcements? How do you collapse what? You mean after you read the announcement, how do you go back to looking at it regular? You can click on announcements again. So if I go in here and I want to read my announcement, once I click on announcements again, it collapses it. Right?
Is there any way I can remove the reply button at the bottom?
Yes, you can. Let me show you how to do that. It's a setting in your course. So if you don't want students to reply to your announcements, right, this is going to be a one-way communication. That's it. All right. In your course, under Settings, it's the last button at the bottom. You're going to go all the way to the bottom and click More Options. Remember I told you that Canvas has a lot of options. All right. One of the options down here is, it's the last one, Disable Comments on Announcements. That's the one that you would want. All right, so if announcements are just one way, I don't need to hear what you have to say about this one. That's what you're going to do. Okay?
But it's an all or nothing, so it's every announcement.
It's either every announcement or, yeah. Or, I mean, you can go in and customize, like maybe halfway through the semester, you have one day that you're going to allow them to comment on announcements. Change that setting and then change it back.
Do you find the comments mostly text, or do some of them give you audio comments and things like that?
It's funny. Some of the students, there's some that really like giving that audio or video comments back to you. You know, they have that ability too. It's very easy for them because it's just going to open that, and a lot of them work on mobile. You're probably finding your students work a lot on mobile, and so on their phone, that it's really easy for them to just speak back to you. So I don't know. It really depends. It's always surprised me the students who did reply back to me that way, because I wouldn't expect that that's what they would do.
In the discussion board, you know,
Right.
To change it up a little, so it's not just text.
Sure. So you can set, I mean, you could absolutely in your directions say, I want this to be either an audio or video response.
Language courses, of course.
Yeah, it's great for them. So those are announcements. And I do want to show you the syllabus. So I know that you guys all have a syllabus, right? And it's just a part of what you do. Canvas it has syllabus in the course stream of your course. So here's the section here. It's about halfway down, and it says syllabus. Go ahead and click on it in your Sandbox course. Do you have anything in it? Okay, you have an assignment. And if you put your event attached to this course, it's also going to show up here. So as you add things to your course, either events or things that have due dates, this syllabus area starts building for you. You don't actually have to put anything here. It's just going to start populating. So, you know, some people really like this, and they're like, that's great. I don't need to, you know, hand out a paper syllabus then. Because as you move things around on your calendar, so remember I updated those things on my calendar, it changed it everywhere for me, and one of the places it changed it was on my syllabus. So all of those things are tied together, and when I move it one place, it moves it everywhere else. So if I change the due date in the course, it's going to update my syllabus in my calendar. If I change the due date on the calendar, it's going to update my syllabus in my course. So they're all connected, it gets built out. This is going to give for the students everything that has a due date only. So if it's an assignment, or any kind of assessment or an event, it's going to build here, and then they can click on it, and it's going to take them right into and allow them to work on that assessment.
You said it goes both ways.
It does.
If I change it in the syllabus in the course, it'll post it.
Yeah, anywhere you change, so wherever you change a date, it updates it everywhere else. So it's not like you have to think about, oh, I gotta fix my syllabus, I have to fix the calendar. Wherever you change it within Canvas, it's going to update it for you. You can add things to your course syllabus at the top, so you still can have a link to, you know, your full paper syllabus if you want to. I added some photos in there, and I added a video because this is about Ray Bradbury. So I just clicked on Edit above my syllabus section, and it gave me that rich content editor, so I can put anything I want in there, and then it gives my syllabus a little bit more of a graphic oomph. So, go ahead.
When you do that,
Yep.
will that appear above this active changing calendar?
Yes.
Yes.
So that box above it, where my
Yes.
stuff's about Bradbury,
When you save
Yep.
it, that
I saved it, it's above it.
will students see
Mhm.
at the top.
Yep. And then as you add things, it's just going to populate your syllabus. Just think about it. If you have a lot of assessments in your course, syllabus area can get a little bit long. All right, but you don't have to build it. It's being built as you add things. It's also showing a little small calendar here of everything that has a due date, something due in my course. And it's also showing for my students the assignment weights for things in my course, which we'll talk about later. So they're getting a lot of information from that page.
You write it right from that calendar.
Can I edit from the calendar?
You have to write it clerk, you just click on the day.
No, what it's doing right here is it's just
Okay,
taking
but
me
it'll
down.
take you to the link of the list and you
Yeah.
change the link.
Yes.
Will that change the calendar?
Yes, you can do it that way. Yep. So syllabus. If you don't like it, you don't ever have to use it. Okay? Canvas is still going to build it in the background. You can hide it, and your students don't ever have to see it. We're going to talk about course navigation. If you don't like it and you don't want them to access your course that way, I'll show you later how to disable it. But this will still be being built for you in the background. I never knew until I started working for instructor that this even existed. I had no idea. It was just happening, and I had no clue. Rachel.
In terms of like, so for the syllabus, if we don't want to just go by like an attachment or something, is there a way to build this into a template or something? So currently right now we use like a syllabus tool that has like instructor information, assignments, right? It creates like categories and it's pretty clean. Updating it usually. Just wondering how you still have to get all of those things back. Or grading all of that information.
Yep.
That just gets back.
You in that editing box where I have these things about Ray, you could put all of that stuff up there. Yeah, you could link, you could build a table, you could link to stuff and add, you could upload those files and then link to them in Canvas. So yeah, you can absolutely put all that stuff in here. And it's the way the syllabus is categorized at the bottom though. Like I said, it's going to be by date. But if you wanted to say, you know, all of your other stuff at the top, you can. Or if it doesn't work and you want to still use what you're using for syllabus, you can hide this. You don't have to ever use it.
You didn't show have a calendar built, it's just you want to show a blank calendar, or is it not going to show?
If you don't use calendar and don't have anything due,
Yeah.
nothing's due for the course.
I guess you are
It is populating, yep. So anything that has a due date attached to it is going to populate here. If you have nothing due in your course ever, nothing will create here. Right. I would like to take that course and hope that it's 3 credits.
For sure.
All right. Any other questions about syllabus?